In today's video, I want to talk a little bit about pond filtration, namely what I started with in the beginning 4 years ago and the setup I've got today. The pond's around 4,000 litres and holds several koi and some goldfish. It's a little on the smaller side for keeping koi, so it's very important to keep your water parameters good and make sure you've got an effective filtration system working. In the beginning, I visited the local pond shop and had a little chat with a friendly guy in there and ended up walking away with a canister filter. Now, it didn't take long to realise that there wasn't much biological filtration in there, so I ended up using a Wicks water butt for the biological filtration. The setup's all covered with fake ivory, so I'll remove that and go through what I've got. This stuff is great for putting over your filter system and making it fit in naturally and not being an eyesore. So the pressure filter feeds into the water butt, which contains all the biological filtration. Before I talk about the DIY filter, I'll start off with the pressure filter I first purchased. It's a Bioforce Revolution 6000, the brand's hose lock. Now the filter has an 18 watt UV. It has about 5 litres of biological filtration in there, and it has a load of sponges. Now when you decide to clean the sponges, all you do is move the divert around and you wind this handle, and what this does is move 2 rods around the sponges in a circular motion, getting all that dirt out, and you can physically see the colour of the water, so when it clears up you know most of the dirt's out. Now you can see the 2 orange rods that come down there, they're the things that spin round. There's some little devices that come with it that help you get the top off, and they're the sponges. So those rods move around in those sponges, and that's your biological filtration. As you can see, there's not a lot in there. Now these filters do get a lot of negative comments, but I have to say I found the thing to be absolutely brilliant. I'm changing the sponges today, so I didn't give it a full wind up, so just to show you the sort of dirt it collects. Now when I say they're brilliant for mechanical filtration, and as long as you wind that handle once a week, I've had no problems whatsoever. Now this is the smaller version, so I'm sure the bigger versions can handle a hell of a lot more. And I didn't really fancy spending the sort of £400-500 to get a bigger one. Now with it being a pressure filter and being more than happy with the mechanical filtration side of it, what I decided to do, feed the outflow pipe into the bottom of a 100 litre Wicks water butt full of biological filtration. The water would then rise up through this water butt until it reaches the 2.5 inch outflows and return back into the pond. Now, this setup has worked extremely well for me now for over 3 years, and even though it's a relatively highly stocked pond for its size, I haven't had any issues whatsoever. Now what I've noticed is the pressure filter lets extremely fine particles get through into this biological filter, and as you can see, they just sit there on top of the filter. Now I've looked at this over time, and the bottom of the filter is completely clean, there's hardly any particles. All the fine particles rise up and just sit there on top. What I do is hoover that out with a pond vac, normally about once a month. I mean, I've left it about 3 months, that's why it's got quite bad in this situation. What I've done with this filter is completely drained it without hoovering out the dirt first, so some of that dirt's gone down into the filter material. But I'm doing a full filter clean, so everything's coming out. I'm cleaning it all with pond water, and then it's all going back in again. The very top layer of this beneficial bacteria filter, I have these filter sponges. The reason being, if I ever need to change the sponges in the pressure filter, I've already got some ready to go, and I'll already have beneficial bacteria on them rather than getting them from a store and putting them straight in. Underneath this I have 10 litres of the K1 media bagged up. When cleaning your filter media, always use pond ball, and what I do afterwards is put it straight back in the pond and put like a rock on it. Leave it in there. The last thing you want is your beneficial bacteria colony that's taken months to materialise to die on you. And underneath the K1 and the sponges I have about 3 bags of alpha gog. I think that works out to roughly about 50 litres of filter material. At the bottom of the water butt there is a flush valve, and I made a bit of a void area with bricks, and then on top of those bricks I put some larger stones, and then the alpha gog is loose on top of that. And what I tend to do is once I've vacuumed the top of the filter, what I do is open the flush valve and flush it out completely. I do that once a month and I haven't had any issues. What I'm doing with the alpha grog this time round is I'm going to clean it and I'm going to bag it up. You know, in the future it just makes it a little bit easier clearing it out, because all it means is that I've just got a load of bags to take out, light on the grass, and I can use the water out of the pond and just basically hose it all down, give it a quick clean and just lay it all back in there again. Other than the maintenance I've already spoke about, I do a clean like this once a year, and that's it really. It's quite a low maintenance filter. If I took the pressure filter out of the equation, then it would need more flushing and cleaning on a regular basis. The overall cost for the filter, including the water butt, the fittings and all the filter material, is something like £100 to £120. You know, you go in a shop and you spend that amount of money, you're not buying anything remotely close to giving the same amount of biological filtration. If you're on a budget and your pond's under 1,000 gallons, you know, you can't really go wrong, to be honest with you. I've got the exact same filter on a smaller pond of 300 gallons. It's been running over a year now, and that's got no UV and no, pressure filter before it. And I flush it the same amount of time. It has got a lower stock, but again, I've had no issues there either. Thanks for watching, and hopefully you've learnt something or it's given you some ideas for your DIY filter.